The problem of illiteracy, it should not actually be taken for granted in its entirety. Hello and welcome, Noble TV Live. I am Gray Admona. And today on the talk shop, we have something that will actually tickle your imagination, and it actually reverts to the question associated with UNESCO that, put it this way, are 56 million Nigerians actually illiterate? Or to use a familiar condescending phrase of Western society, barely literate? And to do justice to the theme and issues implicit in this matter is a familiar face on the screen, Comrade Augustine Omilo. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I agree.
Yes.
You know, so the question, you have asked the question already. I don't know whether should I answer
yes.
now.
So no, we wanted to actually tickle the fancy of the viewer.
Okay.
And the answer will not revert to you.
Okay.
And we would like to think that it is not a notion associated with the African.
Yeah.
It is something like an imported idea associated with UNESCO. Yeah. UNESCO is authoritative because it belongs to the one of the most influential world institutions, United Nations Organization. So let's now look at the issue. Are 56 million Nigerians actually illiterate, or to use a familiar Eurocentric phrase, barely literate? Or barely literate is a euphemism for actually a stark illiterate.
Yes. I would even think it's more.
Oh,
you know what?
What does that figure?
Yes, because the Minister for Education, Professor Atahiru Maman, a professor of law, who is also the...
Did you say Atahiru or Tahiru?
Tahiru.
Okay.
Tahiru, yes, Maman. Presently, he's even the Vice Chancellor of a Base University.
Okay.
So I don't think he should be guessing, because it's not as if he made the research. Yes. The research was made by the National Mass Education Commission, which is a body. You know, and this body now was affirming what the UNESCO has also come up with in the past. Okay. Now, having said that, they are not just saying people who are illiterate, because you know there are many types of illiteracy: financial literacy, academic literacy, religious literacy, and all that. But they are talking about people who cannot read and write. So, which means, just like you said, stark illiterates. People that, if you are in the bank now, they say, "Ogabe, help me fill my form." And if you speak to my grandma, I say, "Ba Torenchi." Do you understand?
Yes.
These are the people that are talking about. And if it is true that they're up to 56 million, great, we're in trouble in this country. And that is why a lot of things are not really working, because you have a society now where people cannot do things according to their own understanding of how things work or how things are working. They base their reasoning on what is imposed on them by people who are just a little bit higher than them. You know, we're not talking about people who went to school now and they are not still reasoning like people who are actually educated. I give you an example of somebody who was my secretary a very long time ago. I went out, and when I came back, I said, "Did anybody ask of me?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "What's the name of the person?" He said, he didn't drop the name. I said, "Okay. How do you know now that? How do I know the person now to call him back?" He said, "No, okay, the man said he's coming back." Now, we don't regard that person as as educated person. This guy was in my office as a HND upper credit person. So, apart from the 56 million now that are stark illiterate, there are still many more Nigerians that are as illiterate as you can think of. So, it's very worrisome and embarrassing.
Okay, worrisome and embarrassing. And Comrade Omilo, don't you also think that if we're extending the frontier of worry and embarrassment, don't you think we should now go to basic issues? And that is, maybe it might shock you, our impression about the concept of illiteracy or literacy. Don't you think it's highly misplaced? It is language-based, language-biased, language-based, language-biased, language prejudiced. So don't you think, because somehow, before the arrival of European capitalists, in the 15th century, especially with the annexation of Lagos in 1861, where the British used military bombardment as a route, Yorubas were communicating effectively in Yoruba. The Igbo, there's no way you write Nigeria's cultural history without Igbo, because they have played a frontal role, in cultural development, exploring the frontiers of the Igbo language. The Urhobo, the fifth largest ethnic community, in Nigeria, they also have their own contribution. So, don't you think, UNESCO point of view, our own professor, the VC, professor of laws notion, don't you think it's mistaken because English proficiency cannot equate unequivocally with the notion of literacy or illiteracy.
Yes, I agree with you.
So how do you see that?
I agree with you. You know why I agree with you? Because if you look at the Indians, for example,
yes,
you know, who are making very fast progress in technology and all that, most of them write in their own languages. If you look at China now, most of us now go to China to understand China. For us to like understand, if you see manufactured goods to the instructions of all that, you know, because Chinese, they do whatever they are doing in Chinese. America do whatever they are doing in American English. The same thing for England. And these people are using American English because that is they are born into American English. So it's not as if they are learning it. So in the same way, yes, I agree with you, because if Nigeria was to be able to develop a language that is unique, or even if we don't even have one, assuming the major three languages, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa, we're able to develop them to a point where if we are trying to describe anything in technology, we're able to use either of the languages or all of them. Yes, a lot of persons will be upgraded to the level of being literate because they will understand. But now, you see a situation where, because somebody cannot talk good English, you say it's illiterate. And okay. And another thing again is that you see those people that cannot even talk good English or write, if you check very carefully, they cannot even speak their own native dialects very well. Because I have an example, you know, in my own native dialect, for example, there are some persons who speak as though they know the language, and yet they don't know. For example, you see somebody now, if he wants to go and eat in a local buka, you say, give me gari. I say, no, it's not gari. No, I'm assuming that the person is using the local language now. He say, give me gari. I say, no, it's not gari. He say, you want to eat gari. It's not gari, it's eba. Some people will say, give me akpung. I say, no, it's not akpung. So these are people who are speaking they are supposed to be speaking the local language now. But you see find them, you know, missing the synonyms and whatever it is. So yes, our local languages, if we were to develop them to a point, now less people will be regarded as illiterate. Really, I agree with you.
Okay, so if education planners, if they want to be sincere to themselves and to their collective conscience, don't you think it is now the duty of education planning, which the Federal Ministry of Education is main pivot, to actually address the long-term implications of the notion of literacy or illiteracy? Because at the end of the day, if we equate literacy with language proficiency, then it is relative. I don't think it's defeat at the end of the day. You cannot even accuse any number of Nigerians of being illiterate. So do you suggest that the education planners should explore such a process?
Yes, they should. And if they are trying to do it, they should start it from the primary school level.
Okay.
Because at higher levels, a lot of persons in Nigeria are looking to...
When you say primary school, remember that privatization, there's something preceding the primary phase now. You have KG.
KG. Okay.
If you say primary school, you have to capture the public school system. The private school system is very much part of it.
No, I'm talking about primary school now, where you have graduated from that level of Baba Blue or something.
Okay.
So now, if you start those local languages, then you get to a point where somebody now may be so interested in local language that he chooses it as a career or as a study in the university or something. Or even when you want to study at the secondary school level, you want to write your school certificate examination and all that. So if they start it and grow up there, but unfortunately, you know, in Nigeria, if, for example, now you are in the university now, you say you are studying Igbo language, you can't even come to the public like this now and say, I'm studying Igbo language, I'm studying Yoruba language. It's as if, for what? You know, because where are you going to get employment? But that is not always the case. If you are studying Igbo language, Yoruba language, or whatever, it's not as if you are studying so that you become a banker.
It is purely scholarly.
Yes, scholarly. So, and apart from that, after studying Igbo language at the first degree level now, there's nothing stopping you from also going ahead to study Italian or any other language or something. So, if there is a kind of encouragement for all the people that are studying whatever languages or studies they are making in the universities, then the study of languages will be empowered, because very soon there are a lot of local languages in Nigeria that will go into extinction because of lack of use.
Okay, so finally, to at least to kind of contend with the problem in the short term and to actually practically, you know, brace ourselves to solve the problem, what do you suggest as a way out?
The way out now
for solving the problem of presumed illiteracy.
Yes. So National Education, Mass Education Commission must now brace up to the occasion by ensuring that all these literacy centers, I used to see what they call adult education centers.
Yes.
Let them litter everywhere because we have them in Delta State, for example. Now, and you encourage people to go there. There are some persons who ordinarily would have taken advantage of people because they don't have money. Some of them are ashamed. Some of them for one reason or the other. But let there be proper awareness of the need of these people to actually get educated, and a lot of persons will enroll. And we will do so in a short time. We shall be overcoming the issue of illiteracy in this country.
Okay, so the problem of literacy or illiteracy, let's say the problem of illiteracy, it should not actually be taken for granted in its entirety, but the trust of opinion expressed by Comrade Augustine, our guest in this program, is that the planning of education should embrace other extracurricular platforms, not least those associated with MAMSA, the old Babangida dictatorship, which now blossomed to National Orientation Agency, to ensure that adult learners, adult instruction is actually institutionalized, to make it meaningful. Otherwise, the notion that so percentage or index, is illiterate sometimes can actually be presumptuous. So always stick to the routine. Like, share, and subscribe. Global TV is the answer. Thank you.